Welcome to Navigating Your 20s. I'm your host, Jess Hugo, and I am so excited to have you here. I'm an online personal trainer and nutritionist, but honestly, underneath it all, I am just a girl who is struggling, thriving, and surviving somehow all at once. So if this is you, you are not alone. If you want all the juicy tea on what it's like to be a girl navigating her 20s, I'm talking relationships, health, fitness, social life, work, and everything in between, then you're in the right place.
Hello queens, welcome back to the pod. I feel like I haven't talked to you guys in a hot minute, and I'm kind of going in a weird direction today of like, this is going to be unexpected. I'm sure you've read the title and you're like, what's going on? Girls, I just think right now everyone's kind of got the winter blues, and I just want this to be your permission slip to take a step back. Take a breath, actually calm down, reset, go into your soft girl energy. I just feel like there is so much hustle culture online, and I do believe there's a time and a place to hustle and work hard, don't get me wrong, but sometimes it's like we're flogging ourselves in the gym, we're burnt out at work, we're trying to keep up with friendships, we're stuck in these unaligned friendships that like literally we are so unhappy entertaining, and it's like where do we say enough is enough? Where do we draw the line? Where do we set the boundary? And I think I'm very qualified to talk on the boundary topic lately because so much has been shifting and moving. I try not to do too much of like a life update, you know what I mean? But so much has been kind of happening, been setting some boundaries. People have been moving, and people are either growing with me or leaving me. And I'm like, I'm here for it. I'm here to move on and grow forward. And I think let this be your permission slip that sometimes something has to change, something has to give, and you might lose friends along the way. You might lose relationships along the way that you thought were serving you, but there's always more coming. And whenever I kind of do the uncomfortable thing, have an uncomfortable conversation, like maybe you do something that I've been putting off and procrastinating, like bigger opportunities come my way. And I want this to be a reminder to you that that can happen for you too. Like, the thing that you're hesitating doing right now, whether it's leaving a friendship, leaving a relationship, getting a new job, like looking into new hobbies, whatever the thing that you're hesitating on needs to happen before change is going to progress. And obviously I'm trying not to give too much context, but know that this is happening right now. And as soon as I like let something go, new opportunities flowed in, and I was like, this is amazing. And I think you just have to be okay with people not always growing with you, or being okay with the uncomfortable season. I've been doing a bit of an uncomfortable season in my business probably the last 2 months, maybe 3, and going to the retreat was like an amazing reflection on that. Literally, as soon as I came back, I like went into the retreat knowing the things that I was kind of like struggling with. And even when we were having the conversation, I kind of giggled because I was like, I know what I'm, you know, when you know, like you deep down know, right? You know what you're struggling with, you know what needs to happen, but you procrastinate doing it, which is so, there's no wrong thing about that. Like it's so normal, so fine. But it's like the longer I sat with it, the longer I knew, like I was like, nothing changes if nothing changes. And this goes to like with everything in your life. And as soon as I came back from the retreat, literally like the next day, I was implementing the things we talked about, putting it like into action, because I was like, this needs to change right now. This should already be happening. Like, let's do it. Let's do it. Like we need to actually set the boundary. We know what needs to change. And it feels like we're always going on, like on the go hustle season, like always feeling like we're on when we don't set boundaries. So like this is how I'm leaning into my soft girl era. It literally feels like a weight lifted off my shoulders since I've kind of implemented this. And it's like I was sitting in this constant overwhelm because I was so stressed about upsetting people or making myself be wrong for having needs. Like, God forbid a girl has needs, you know? So I want to talk about kind of like setting boundaries, being in the soft season, and what it kind of means when your body is like, enough is enough. Like something needs to change. So like for me, it's like a soft season is when you're like called to yourself, like your soul, your inwardness, like as woo-woo as it sounds, it's like what you're actually really needing, not what you say you need, but what you're needing when you write it down in your journal. And I think I have a lot of, sometimes when clients originally come to me, the conversations can be very surface. Obviously they're not ready to open up and share things with me, and I'm like, I need more. I need your deep dark secrets. I need the juicy tea. I need what you're writing in your journal at night, because if you're being very airy fairy and having surface level conversations, you're always going to feel this hustle because you're not letting your walls down. You're not letting yourself soften, and that is stopping your both internal and external glow up. Like if you've been watching me the last few months and you're like, what's changed? Girl, I'll tell you, I set some motherfucking boundaries. I am doing the shit that I say I do, and I'm taking quick action. And it's like, you might be like looking at me like, oh my God, like she's just, changed all this stuff overnight. She's just glowed up overnight. But it went through a phase of being uncomfortable. It went through a phase of having difficult conversations, having to be very like strict and strong in my boundaries. And it's like, this stops us from just being us, because at the end of the day, it might make you angrier. It might make you upset. Like if your friendships fall apart, or maybe your friendships are mistreating you, it eats you up inside. I've had clients before that have said like, these friendships aren't aligning with them anymore, but they're scared to feel lonely, which I totally understand. And then it eats them up alive. They see their friends hang out without them. They see their friends talking about other friends. They see them like not replying to their texts for weeks, and it makes you feel wrong. But it's like, have you ever considered maybe you've just outgrown these friends? Maybe you just need to like move on from these people. Maybe this guy that you're in a situationship doesn't actually deserve you. It doesn't serve you. Like, it doesn't mean anything's wrong, but it means let's take a moment to sit back, reflect, have a little bit of moment of like, this is my invitation to soften, right? So like for me, it's like when everything feels really forced, when everything feels really like you don't want to show up to the thing. Think about something that you've maybe been invited to, or that you're required to go to, and you just think, I could not think of anything worse. I do not want to go to this thing. That's the sign. That is the sign to come back, find a new layer, find what actually is important to you. Like, why are we still doing things that we're not passionate about? Why are we still chasing goals that are literally not aligned with our goals at all? Like, we're chasing things that, like, at the end of the day, I want you to sit with it. Is it even aligned? Because I knew, for me, I was resisting things because I knew they were going to be hard conversations, but I knew that these particular situations, people, whatever, weren't aligned with me. And I was like, I just need to take the plunge, because I know that this is not aligned with me, and I need to make moves, right? So it's like, okay, is it time for a soft season? And I wrote a little list, so I'm going to read it out. Signs you're in a soft season and why you might even be resisting it. So couple of things. You feel unmotivated, but also overstimulated. So you're constantly thinking about your goals. You feel overwhelmed, overstimulated, constantly on edge, like literally your brain feels foggy, but you're so unmotivated. You don't want to go to the gym. You don't want to get up and go to work. You don't want to clean up your house. Like, I definitely go through ebbs and flows where my room is like clean and then it's like a hot mess. So I get it. But that 24/7, it's a sign. Take a little breather, take a step back, take a break. Next, you're craving solitude more than socializing. Not in terms of avoiding everyone and staying at home. Like, I am a homebody, so I get the vibes. Like, I want to stay home. But maybe that's just a sign that you have outgrown those friends. Maybe that's just a sign that you need to find new people to socialize with, or new ways to socialize. I know a lot of us kind of outgrow that kind of drinking phase, but then our friends might still be in it. And then it's like, oh, I don't want to go out with them because they want to drink, but I don't want to drink anymore. And it can be a really difficult time to navigate. But sometimes we also do need to go through seasons of loneliness to get to the next level. And I think about this a lot because I don't have many friends that do business and understand business. I have a handful, and some of them I don't even see that often, and it's because we're both so busy. Excuses, we don't make that effort. But when I went to the retreat and it was so like everyone in business, it felt so aligned just having those conversations. And I think a lot of things with business and stuff as well is a lot of people are competitive. I'm going to expose myself. I've actually been in group coaching things before, and people have copied my content word for word and things like that. And I've literally got annoyed. Obviously, it's mine. It came from my brain, and been like, oh, I fucking hate collaborating or being with other coaches, which is not the case. I just fucking hate people that don't have a brain and need to copy. But also that is so beneath me to even care about anyway. Why do I care if someone's copying me? It's human nature, but it's who cares? So I always kind of had that reservation of I don't want to be in group things because I feel like people are gonna copy me or steal my ideas or whatever the thing may be. Insert all of the excuses. And then when I went to the retreat, I came in with no thoughts, feelings, reservations. I just came in and everyone was great. We were some people were doing so much better than me. Some people were similar. Some people had just started their business. So it was really a great mixed pool, and the ages were so varied as well. But I never once felt like anyone was copying anyone in that like room. I never once felt like it was hard and exhausting to socialize with these people because it was so aligned. I felt like these are my people. Unfortunately, none of them live in Sydney, but I was like, these are my people. Like, it was such a good vibe of being in a room with like-minded people. So it's like, right now, which friendships are you entertaining that aren't even aligned with you, that literally drain your energy and drain your battery when you hang out with them? Because I'm sure there's people in your life, I bet, whose name just came up for you right now? When I just said that, whose name popped in your head? What conversation relayed in your head? Something I'm so guilty of is whenever I talk about topics or someone's talking about topics to me, I start zoning out and thinking about what they're saying, but in my life. So as I said just then, I would start like envisioning someone I can't stand that always copies me, that always makes me feel some type of way. So whoever just came to you that you envisioned just then, that is a sign. That is a sign. Okay. You're sick of performing, explaining, or fixing. You know those friends that just expect a lot from you. They're constantly wanting to hang out, maybe. They're constantly needing validation. They're constantly starting drama, thinking that everyone's talking about them. Like if you're in like a girl group, maybe like you guys hung out and she didn't get invited and then she thinks it's all about her. That friend, gotta go. Gotta go. You are entering your softness era. You are entering your boundaries in place era, and you don't have time for performing, explaining, or fixing. You don't. There's not enough time. Life is too short. Navigating your 20s is not for fixing relationships. There are so many fish in the sea. In terms of friends, in terms of relationships, there's so many fish in the sea, and we are sitting here trying to entertain and fix these stupid problematic dramas. Nah, not about it. And that is why, next, you're constantly tired, not just physically, but your soul is tired. You wake up and you think, I do not want to talk to these people today. You wake up and think, I do not want to reply to those texts. Sometimes even I will read texts and I'm like, oh my God, that's a sign. Lastly, you feel disconnected from your old goals, but you're unsure of new ones. I think this is really, really big because I see it a lot with weight loss, and I'm trying not to use weight loss as an example too much in this because I think it really goes a lot into friendships and relationships and all of the things. But you might come to me with the goal of, I want to lose X amount of weight. And then you wrap your whole identity up in this weight loss goal, when in reality, we want to live a healthier lifestyle. We want to be fitter. We want to be more active. We want to be able to walk up the stairs without being super fucking puffed. We want to try on clothes without fucking having a breakdown when we look in the mirror. Like, I fucking get you, like, been there, done that. I don't think that has anything to do with the scale weight, and I don't think you should start attaching your whole identity to numbers. And it's like, how can we actually just reignite that goal, spark something new by saying, I just want to be able to run around after my babies. I just want to be able to walk up the stairs at uni, walk around the block to go from classroom to classroom and not come in like a sweaty hot mess. I just want to be the hottest bitch in the mosh pit at fucking Charlie XCX. Like, you know what I mean? Like, why can't we switch up the goal? And if you're feeling really like stuck on this number right now, it's not soul aligned. It's dragging you down. It's making you feel guilty. We need to do a soul reset. So the resistance in this, and when I talk about the resistance, it's like the stories we tell ourselves. When I say insert all of the excuses, insert all of the things, that's the resistance. Oh my gosh, my swivel chair keeps moving. I don't know why. I'm too passionate. Anyway, so you start thinking things like, what's wrong with me? I need to get my shit together. I've been like in limbo for months. What have I done the last few months? Like, constant shame cycle. And I think the shame cycle is honestly really hard to get out of. I find that without having a conversation, you get stuck in the shame cycle quite a lot. And I think conversations can kind of break down those barriers and spark something new. And it's like social media reflection. Everyone's doing more than me. Everyone's results are better than me. And it's like, can we just like get off our phone for 5 minutes? I posted a story the other day. I want you to sit in the sun on your lunch break, get off your phone, eat with intention, read a book if you feel like you need something, but get off your phone. And sometimes I just stare out into the sun, not at the sun, but like into the trees, into the sun, into looking at the birds, just like watching, because it's so unmatched. We are human. I think we kind of forget this because everything is such a rat race, and like with AI and all of the things, like we're almost like, I don't know, we're like lost in this crazy space of like feeling like we're invincible, but we're actually human, and humans aren't designed to be scrolling and consuming 24/7. I know I feel worse when I am on my phone more often. I know I feel worse when I'm looking at what everyone else is doing and comparing myself. I know that I feel worse when I'm just consuming. Sometimes I'll wake up and I'll go on my phone. The first thing is news. Hate that. But I don't even really, like, I'm privileged. Yes, I'm privileged, but I don't even really watch the news because I can't remember the stat. It's written on my phone. I think I might have told you this before. I've definitely told people before, whether it's my Instagram or something. I think it's 5 minutes of news in the morning can result in like 9 hours of unhappiness in your day. I probably butchered that. I can't remember the exact like stats on it, but it's something like wild like that, right? That is a long time, right? And we're starting our day and spending our entire day scrolling, consuming. Like, of course it's going to affect us. Of course it's going to make us feel like everyone's doing more than me. I'm not good at this shit. Like, what's wrong with me? Why is everyone like so good at hustling and I feel like I'm a lazy piece of shit? Like, you're not fucking lazy. I always talk about this. You're not lazy. The things that are like seen on social media just don't align with you right now. And this is why you always feel like you're burnt out, low energy, tired 24/7, no matter how much sleep you got, or really like low vibes, because your nervous system is constantly in like fight or flight. You constantly have brain fog. You constantly feel overwhelmed. And you're probably like, okay, Jess, you're literally naming every symptom I have, but where the hell is the resolution? The resolution is to go back to what I was just talking about. You need to end those friendships. You need to find things that light you up. I know that it can be really lonely. So I know that I will surround myself with people, even in a paid capacity. I knew business felt lonely, so I paid for a coach in business. I know that back in the past, my weight loss or my health and fitness journey felt really lonely, so I paid for a coach. You know what I mean? And I'm not saying pay for your friendships, but sometimes like when you want to level up and get into that aligned space, you have to pay for it. I paid to go to the retreat. And then I met all those girls. I came in with no expectations. I left feeling so clear. I was like, this is great. I need to implement this right now. And it's like, okay, let's do a little reflection piece right now. You already know deep down what needs to change for you to go forward. I already knew that going into the retreat. When Tay asked me like, what's this, what's that? I already knew the answer. I just hadn't implemented it. So right now, I bet you're thinking of the answer. Whatever's coming to your brain right now, I bet you're thinking of the answer. Write it down. Whatever is coming to your mind right now, that needs to change. That needs to happen. Because your intuition always knows. We're girls. We always know. So whatever's coming to your head right now, it knows. It whispers, it niggles like in the back of the brain. It nudges you to take the leap forward. It's telling you like, do this, do that. You know what I mean? Like that is intuition. And it's like, okay, I wrote down a little quote. The soft season, why did I start butchering it? The soft season is where you finally hear your inner wisdom and intuition, but you can't hear her when you're busy being someone you're not. I'm going to say it again, but I'm going to switch it. So you can't hear her when you're busy being someone you're not, because you're not in your soft season and finding your inner wisdom and intuition. So every time you ignore her, you stop becoming her. You want to become that girl, but you ignore the niggly feeling at the back of your brain. You ignore the deep down thoughts. I've seen a lot of people like get into relationships, break up, get back together, break up, get back together. What is your body and your brain telling you deep down? Listen to it. Otherwise, you're going to keep being in the same cycle over and over again. Your body physically responds to these things. So listen to it. And when you go into your soft season and you slow down, how does your body change? Not just physically, but like, how does it feel? When you sit down and journal after this episode, you better go journal. I feel like I need to journal after this. What comes out? Something that comes out is going to be on there that like you probably didn't even think was going to come out. You probably didn't even realize that needed to come out because it was so buried deep down, because you always ignore it. You always let it niggle and stay. And what is that? I bet it's going to come out on paper. I bet. once you settle into your soft era, you're going to get into your feminine flow as well. I feel like a lot of things, and this again is a social media thing, it's very masculine. It's very like always hustling, always working towards this, working towards that. And I'm like, can we just like, how about we just like work with our cycles? Which, by the way, haven't talked on this much at all because I'm still really learning about it. So I don't want to talk on it yet. But how about we just work with actually being a female and actually having emotions? Why are we wrong for having emotions? And God forbid a girl has needs. God forbid a girl has needs and wants to be a little bit more emotional, take a little bit longer to respond, work a little slower in a particular season. Like, actually, God forbid. So I really want you to sit in that and go into your soft era and see what you actually truly need at the end of the day. Especially if you have a partner right now, there's nothing wrong with this, but a lot of us will rely on our partners. And then it's like, what do we actually need? Who are we at the end of the day? What are we needing to fill our cup? Yes, we get enjoyment from hanging out with our partner in that company, but at the end of the day, it's like we need our girls. Like going on the retreat, I was like, fuck yeah, it was so good to just be surrounded by girls and just be talking business, talking crap, like not talking shit about people, but just talking random crap, watching like some random girly movie. I can't remember the freaking title, but just having good times. And it's like a lot of us are like, oh, well, I have my boyfriend. Okay, girl. I think all of us need girls, at least one or two. We all need our girls. So what is the next steps from here? First things first, I know I just said this before, but I really want you to understand that resting and taking a step back and setting boundaries and going through that uncomfortable phase is not lazy. It's uncomfortable, but it's not lazy. It just is a little bit of a setback to move forward. Sometimes you need to take a couple steps back to move forward. You're not behind. You're allowing your nervous system to actually catch up and slow you down and breathe. We shouldn't always be on high alert. What is your resting heart rate? I bet your resting heart rate is so high because you're always stressing the fuck out. Don't check it right now if you're listening to this on your walk because it's going to be higher. But if you're just sitting in bed and your resting heart rate is really high, that's a sign. That is a sign to enter into your soft girl era. If your body is constantly bloated, feeling uncomfortable, feeling like queasy, that is a sign. You don't need to try harder. You need to take a step back, go into your softness. And I actually wrote some journal prompts that I want you guys to start anchoring into. But something I want to talk about in the future, cycle syncing in your schedule. I really want to lean into this for business as well because I think it's super important in business, but I want to understand it more for my clients and stuff as well. And you guys, I'll share it with you guys. So that is something I want to talk about. And also just where can you slow down your day? So for me, I'm still reworking my morning routine. I know I've been talking about this for a while, but this is actually just evidence that sometimes things don't work straight away and you need to give it a little bit of time and take a little bit of a break. So I've been reworking my routine. I'm like, what do I like? What do I not like in my morning routine? But like slow moments. I now sit down and drink my coffee slowly. I take my time. I'm not sculling it. And this is not every morning because not every morning looks the same for me. But the mornings that I can and I have that space, I slow down. I write down any thoughts I have. I've been doing the brain dumps every morning. I write down things, what's on my mind. Last night, I don't know why, but I must have gone to bed with things still on my to-do list. I don't know why, but I felt like the whole night I kept waking up with things on my mind. And I was like, no. Brain dump. So now I might brain dump before bed. I'm not sure, but where can we have intentional with our food? Intention with our food. Intentionally slowing down, drinking our coffee, savoring the sips, like actually spending time to take a moment. And if you're like, well, Jess, I like am a 9 to 5 or I have to get out the door, I'm on a rush, blah, blah, blah. Can we wake up 5 to 10 minutes earlier? Can we do the routine in the afternoon? Why do we need to do it in the morning? We don't. Can we implement that into the weekend when we have a little bit more space and time? How do you spend your weekends? Do you waste them or do you be really intentional with them? I really want you to think on it, but I've got some journal prompts here that I want you to walk away with because I said that I feel like we all need to journal after this. So I want you guys to go grab your journal, write these down, write them in your notes if you're out on a walk, or come back to this episode later if you were listening in the car. But I've got 4 here. So first of all, what does my body need today? Not what I think I should do, but what do I genuinely crave? What do I genuinely think my body needs today? So that could be like it might be a Tuesday and you might know you have upper body, but you could wake up and your body feels really stiff and sore. You're feeling not that keen on going to the gym. It's a rainy, miserable day and you're like, oh, I don't want to do it. Well, what does your body need? Do you need to have a stretch routine instead of your upper body day? Do you need to go for your walk a little bit earlier or shorten your walk? Like, what do you actually need that day? Okay, second, where am I forcing something that wants to flow? What am I forcing right now? What am I stopping from flowing? What am I forcing ahead that I don't even want to do anymore? Heavy on that. 3, if I wasn't afraid of falling behind, how would I spend this week? And I know I've talked a lot about this before, societal pressures, societal timelines. We're always feeling like we're behind before we've even really got started, with everyone having children, buying houses, like starting businesses, all of the things. It can get like us really in our head. So it's like, where am I afraid of falling behind? And if I wasn't afraid of it, how would I spend this week? And then lastly, what does rest look like for me? Not as avoidance, but as devotion. What is rest? It's not laziness. And if you're telling yourself it's laziness, we need to rework that definition. So define what rest actually is and what it looks like for you in your day-to-day life. And I know that it's going to be hard for some of you. Some of you are overstimulated girlies. You constantly have things on your mind. And this might be the first time in your life that you start implementing things and things might feel a little bit quiet. Things might start to feel a little bit lonely. And you're like, not really sure what to feel because you're feeling all of the different feelings. But I just want you to know that you're allowed to be in your soft season. There's power in taking a step back, being a little bit uncomfortable, maybe even lonely, and pausing. There's actually power in that to go to the next level, to go to the next step. So I'm going to love you and leave you because I feel like this was a lot. I feel like I need to go whip out my journal. So if this episode is something that you enjoyed, please let me know. I want to talk more into this. I want to talk more into the feminine, but I'm still learning. I don't want to talk on topics that I'm not confident in talking on. So let me know if you liked it and rate the podcast 5 stars, and I will see you all in the next one. Mwah. Bye, guys. That's a wrap on another episode of Navigating Your 20s. Thank you so much for joining me and taking the time to listen. If you enjoyed the conversation, vibes, and got something out of today, please feel free to send me a DM with any key takeaways and feedback, or share on your socials and tag me so we can connect. If you liked today's episode and you're wanting more from me, you can find me on all socials at success.withjess.